Hello and welcome to Ditto version 3. We're going to go over to add panel, and for this big red button that looks like it's a bunch of pictures stacked on each other, this is the add Ditto layers button. So cancel will just prevent you from adding it. Click OK and we'll add Ditto layers here. And if you want to close this up, go ahead and click that arrow. And if you wanted to add another set, go ahead and just click that and it will automatically add it under the Ditto folder. So just if you want to delete everything, just go to and just right click it, click delete hierarchy, and we'll delete everything like within the collections. If you just want to delete the collections yourself, if you hit delete, it will just delete that collection, which I do not recommend. You can get very unorganized very fast. But just to clarify, like the last video, the Ditto object transforms are locked. So if you go to item and we go ahead and go to the object, you can see everything's locked so you don't accidentally move things out of place. And if you want to unlock it, just click and drag and we'll unlock everything, which I recommend after you convert the object. So that's covering the Ditto layers. Alright, so here we have the Ditto tools, and it goes from plane, cube, curve, UV sphere, icosphere, cylinder, cone, torus, edge, Suzanne, and M curve. M curve specifically for metaballs. And here's the objects. So it's just your standard object lineup. You can see plane, cube, circle, UV sphere, icosphere, cylinder, cone, torus, grid, monkey. This is your curves: Bezier, circle, nerves, curve, nerves, circle, path, empty hair, fur. And these are your metaballs: ball, capsule, plane, ellipsoid, and cube. This is linked to collections. So for example, if I wanted to add a cube, I want to link that cube to this collection. I can just click here, select the collection, and that same cube object will be in that collection. So whatever blends with this cube and this layer will only blend with this cube, and you can use it as a joint. So if I had another blending and I had it in the same layer, it will blend with that cube, but it won't blend with anything else that is not set up for or not connected to. So let me go ahead and delete that. And this is convert to object. So when you're done, you can just convert to object. I recommend only using mesh, but you can pretty much do whatever you want, and then it will convert it to object. And this is your viewport display. Let me show you where that's located. If you go to object properties after you have your object selected, viewport display will be right here. It's the same exact menu of the viewport display in there. So let me show you something pretty cool. This is going to be a quick example for this video, and we're going to go more in depth in these tool sets later. So I just want to show you something to get you starting, get Ditto fresh. So if you select both these objects, you can select them here, go over to the display, viewport display, and if you click this button and it will drop down this menu, just hold Alt, click wire, and it will turn both of these objects to wire. And let's just go over some things so you don't think some operations are broken. So if you see the middle part disappear here, that's because clipping is on. This works mainly for metaballs and it works pretty well. So you can do this too. This is more exact version, so you can turn this on or you can just turn clipping off, and that will get your object back. You have self intersect and hold tolerant. This will slow it down quite a bit. So just know when you're using normal objects, it's better if you use a mirror modifier in them, which is set up with Ditto tools already. So you can turn this off if you're using a mirror modifier, but metaballs don't have a mirror modifier, so that's why this was mainly created to work with metaballs. So it's a solution. It's a solution. and you can mirror on X, Y, and Z axis, and we'll go over that pretty much later. But let's go ahead and turn it off and cover this. So if this is set to 0, this is hard blend. 1, Ditto blend. This is where the menus for Ditto blend will pop up. And then 2 is hard blend and Ditto blend. But right now we're going to focus on just Ditto blend and turn on smooth. So for the smoothing, we're just going to set this to 6, which should be bounding box. So just hit 1 on there, and you're probably wondering, that doesn't look very fancy, but we're not there yet. So just go ahead and bring this all the way to 6 after you click smooth 2. This turns it on and off. And let's just turn this all the way up. You can do edge or points. Points is good. And as you can see, it's like keeping the hard edge with the blending. So just gonna smooth that a little bit. And you're probably wondering, well, that doesn't look very good. And yeah, you may think that at first, but we're gonna increase the resolution. There. Now, as you can see, yeah, some of blending might look pretty weird, but we're just getting started here. These are ways to like make it look like it's hard blend without like making it fully hard blend. So when you rotate it, this maintains the edging, which you won't get for normal operation. So like if we turn off smooth, this is what you would normally get. This is what it currently is. Turn on smooth with the proper settings, this is what you can get. So you just want a small amount of settings. And then if we click EX blend right here, you can use many different options for the EX blend, but if you turn this to 0 and just increase the scale a bit, you might want to hold shift to do a very small amount. We can get a nice blending effect. So this is what combining options look like, and let me show you what the topology looks like. It's very low on topology, believe it or not. And that's gonna like save you a lot. So there's a lot to go into about all this and the coloring and whatnot. But as you can see, it's gonna create some nice topology, nice blending, and we're just gonna, and you can rotate it while maintaining the sharpness. Like, look how sharp that is. It's all about your settings. You can get away with a whole lot of stuff. And the cool thing about this is if you go into edit mode and select a point, if you want to do this, you don't have to do it, but if you want to just make a sharp edge, and with certain settings you can get certain interpolations. So with points, it like interpolates between each point along an edge, and that's what the points normally do. So different settings for different options. And just click it, and you can turn this back to faces too if you want. It depends on how sharp you want it. So you just gotta like lessen that a bit. And we're just using very minimal smoothing. But I like the point one so I can get more smoothing on it. If you want like beveled edges, you can do that too. Or you can just add another smooth. So that's one way to do the smoothing. Shortcut or more of a hack would be to do hard blend. It maintains the original, well, it shouldn't maintain the original size, or at least it maintains the scale here. So not the original size for the hard blend when you're using EX blend, but if you turn EX blend off, and you pretty much get the same thing. You just need to increase like the blending and the resolution. But yeah, just play with settings. And we'll cover all this in depth later. But right now, we're going to cover like a few more things. And we're going to get more in depth in another video about the Ditto tools and what each Ditto tool does specifically. This is like an overview for the add section. And we're going to go over Ditto tools and metaballs because we have to go over the M curve. But I thought I'll show you what type of blending you can get right now. And we'll have to come back and go over more topics, but right now this is as much as I can cover. So if you want to know the settings for this, let me show you. Just look at these settings. You can always increase the resolution, but just notice as an increase in resolution, you get nicer edges, but you're gonna have to like increase the blending to compensate for it. But usually you do that last. You can lower the resolution whenever you're working, and that will save on processing power. So it's all up to you. You can get really high quality results, and it's mainly for creatives. And you can always add another smoothing and just like smooth all this in between, and you'll get nicer smoothing the more you add. Right now I have 3. You can choose points or faces, so like it's all about how you use it. And these are the settings, so if you usually just using 6 on most all of them, you can play around and see what you get. Works on 1 too. So that's what we're covering right now. We're gonna go through with examples for all the Ditto tools and then a whole section for metaballs, so look forward to that. I hope you're enjoying this series of going over the process of using Ditto, and if you were wondering how to get started and needed something to help you make it look good, like look at that topology. Even though it's diagonal, it has a very smooth interpolation between it. We're going to cover all of it, so I hope you are patient and be kind and just enjoy the lessons for the Ditto and understanding it. Trust me, I worked really hard on it, so I worked hard on making it to where it can do all this. So I hope you enjoy it. Have a good day, and we'll go over the Ditto tools. Specifically, we're going to go over everything but the curve for the next video, and then go over the curve, and then we're going to go over metaballs in its own separate video. Alright, see you later. Bye.